be talking about. Men have eating disorders too. I think this is such an important topic to be talking about because, well, first of all, like, no one talks about it, and I think it's really important since I've noticed a huge shift not only in my life, but also at the same time I've noticed that on my social media that my percentage of male audience has gone up 11% in the last year and a half, and I think that's significant, and that's something that we need to address. So I want to start off by saying that, first of all, I am not a nutritionist. I am not a psychologist. I am not a medical professional. And while I believe that all of those things are so important and so valid, and those people really create changes for other people in the world, and they really help people, I also believe that, you know, I may not be all those things, but I can speak from firsthand experience, and I think that is just as important too. I've personally dealt with 3 different eating disorders in my life. On my YouTube, if you guys have seen it, I've done a video on how I've recovered from my eating disorders. I used to be over 200 pounds, and I talk about how I lost 100 pounds. I've also talked about me dealing with binge eating and me dealing with bulimia and anorexia from when I lost all of the weight to thinking, you know, in my mind that I was still fat, even though I was barely, like, oh my God, a size 0 at that time was loose on me. So, I mean, I've been all over the spectrum, and when I see it happening in other people, it's really easy to recognize those patterns and those thought patterns because I had them. And I know I'm vetting this from a female perspective because I am female, and I can't possibly 100% ever know what it is like to be a guy. I mean, I didn't grow up as a male. That's not something that, you know, is a part of my life. However, what I can say is I am somebody that has personally gone through a lot of eating issues, and because of that, I can recognize it in other people, right? Regardless if they're male or female. So, what I want to talk about is a couple of examples in my life that I've experienced that has been so sad to watch. And this is why I want to make this video and create awareness, is to spread this awareness and spread the message that men have eating disorders too. They do. That's a real thing. And the saddest part is that most guys don't have anybody to talk about it with, because as a female, when you're feeling fat or you're feeling ugly or you need emotional support, you can get that from your girlfriends. Men usually don't have that. And if they have that, it's maybe one person because it's their significant other. And that person, if they are not, you know, if they're straight, is a female. So one of the things that I saw happening in my life is that my demographic on Instagram and on YouTube, in terms of male demographic, has gone up significantly, over 10%. And when you're talking about an accumulation on all of my social media being over 400,000 people, like, that's a good chunk of men. And I really believe one of the biggest reasons is because I talk about the topics that are really uncomfortable, like what to do when you're feeling fat, or having sugar addiction, or talking about, you know, binge purging and my experience with bulimia and my experience with anorexia and feeling like I was fat even though I barely had any fat on my body. I had one, so I want to talk about, I guess, 3 different experiences that I've noticed. There are many more that have happened in my life, but one of them is a very close friend of mine, and I want to say that if any of you guys, of the 3 that are watching this video, feel like this is about you, I want to say that thank you for being a part of my life and allowing me to share this type of content with the audience to help other people. And I don't ever want to throw anybody under the bus, so I'm not going to give crazy details or anything like that, just enough to let you guys know what happened. So I have a lot of friends who are actors. For those of you that don't know, I was in the acting industry for 3 years. I've been in movies. I've worked with Selena Gomez. I've done all of that. And what I've noticed is that it's not only the girls that have insecurities. The men have it almost worse because they can't even talk about those insecurities. They can't talk about them ever. I remember, and this happens a lot of my guy friends being like, I feel so skinny. I don't have enough abs. I need to work out more. Meanwhile, they're going crazy 5-6 hours at the gym. And I just felt like, oh my God, this is not normal, because I've been that person. I've been the person that has gone to the gym to do an hour-long workout or a group workout, and then I would go do high-intensity intervals for another hour after that, barely eating like 1,200 calories. I would try to get under 1,200 calories because I just felt like, that's the thing to do. I wanted to be skinny and I wanted to chase after a certain aesthetic. I really, really believed in that. So I understand when you're having those thoughts that it's not normal. And it's not to say that it's not okay to have those thoughts. It's just you have to recognize that those are not normal thought patterns and you need to heal from those. So that's one of the biggest, I feel like, things that have happened in my life that I've experienced with my guys who are actors. The second experience I had that I want to talk about is more related to binge eating. So, it's pretty, I feel like, normal for a guy to eat a lot of food. I think, like, when guys eat a lot of food, no one ever says anything. But the thing is, that doesn't stop guys from having binge eating issues. If anything, that makes it even worse because it seems so normal. I remember having one of my followers reach out to me, and he told me that he didn't know he had binge eating disorder until he watched one of my YouTube videos on binge eating, because he was eating so much food and so much fast food and trying to hide it, but he was eating just so much of it and couldn't stop himself. And what I want to say about that is, first of all, it's usually tied to some emotional turmoil, whether it's anxiety or something that happened that's traumatic to you that you're not dealing with. I find that it always comes down to emotions, and that's what it's always been for me. So I tried to help him with this and talked him through it, and thankfully he was able to get to a better place for that. However, I recognized during this situation that the only reason he felt comfortable enough to talk to me about it is because I've shared this on my social media and he felt like I understood him. But the thing is, we're not going around the world every single day just randomly talking about eating disorders and randomly sharing with other people the struggles that we've gone through, which I believe we should. And this is also why I'm doing this video, is because if it could start a conversation in your life for somebody else that they can reach out to you, that's amazing. It's so amazing, and that's so important. And so the third example is the one that kind of breaks my heart the most, because this person I was actually dating. And so to watch somebody that you really, really deeply care about go through something like this is so, so tough. The comments that he would make, and it was just hard to hear, would be like, do you know how many sit-ups I do a day? And I was like, I don't know how many. And he would say, I do over 1,000 sit-ups so that I can have a 6-pack. Anytime that we would be eating, and he didn't eat a lot, like we pretty much ate the same amount, it was a normal amount of food, he would check if his abs were still there. And at one point, I remember after, having a weekend of just like eating normal food, it came upon him. He made a comment and said, okay, so now for the rest of the week, I'm going to a regimen of eating less than 1,000 calories a day and doing 2 workouts a day. And in my head, I was like, that's not normal. You can't be eating under 1,200 calories a day, especially if you're a male and especially if you're 6 foot. And if I had to guess, I mean, he was probably maybe at most like 150 pounds. Like it, in his head, he felt like he was fat. And I also know, I won't say how I know, but I found out that he watched my video on how to stop feeling fat. And so this stuff is important, you guys. Like this is not just an issue that just happens to women. This stuff happens to men too. And all of those thoughts I've had because I've dealt with anorexia. I've dealt with, wanting to be this like perfect person and look a certain way. And social media sometimes, you guys, it really doesn't help because you feel like these people have a perfect life or a perfect body, and people are always trying to sell you the way that they look. There's bikini photos, there's guys with their 6-packs, and we are thumbsing it all up because we think that it's amazing, and it's not just magazines anymore. And that's a part of life. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that we can't start a conversation, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about these things. And this is why I'm doing this video, is because I really believe that we need to spread the message. So if you are somebody who in this world is willing to listen to a guy struggling with an eating disorder, share this video, post it on your Facebook, share it in a text message, just freaking share it because it's so important. And it makes me so sad because most guys can't talk about their feelings because in this society, they're not allowed to. It's not okay for guys to have feelings, so they have to suppress them. They have to ignore them. And what ends up happening is they end up doing things like binge drinking, binging on food, doing drugs because they can't talk about their feelings and they have to suppress them constantly. Their guy friends are most likely not going to be open to talking about eating disorders with them. I mean, that's so freaking unmanly, right? What kind of guy is going to be like, yeah, I feel fat today, man? Another guy is probably just going to respond by being like, so if you are someone, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female, and you support the fact that guys should be able to not only talk about their feelings, but talk about eating disorders, and you support them and you're willing to listen to somebody like that, I mean, share this video because that's what it's about, guys. We need to create positive change in this world, and it starts from us. It starts from talking about these topics that are not comfortable to talk about, but are so important to talk about it. And I met somebody recently, this amazing woman, and she told me that the person that she is with doesn't have resources. He is somebody that deals with eating disorders, and she's the only person that knows, and he has to go to female support groups because there aren't support groups for men. And not only that, but it's really difficult for him to even go to a support group or talk about it with anybody because they're so afraid of not being a man. What does that even mean, you guys? Like, this conversation has to change. It really, really has to change. Okay. So that's what I want to say about this. I hope that this has created something, at least a thought in your mind, at least something, and made you guys more aware of this because I'm noticing it happening more and more in my own life. And I know that it's not okay. It's not okay that guys can't talk about this stuff. And, I may not be a male, and trust me, I tried to get a guy to come on here to talk about his feelings and talk about his eating disorder, and none of the guys would do it because it's just not okay in society for them to do it. So you know what? This one's for all the guys that deal with any kind of eating issues or any kind of suppressing their emotions or not being able to talk about their feelings. This video is for you. know that at least one person, me, I get it. I hear you, even if it's not loud, even if you don't want to talk about it. We know that it exists, and this video is addressing that and letting you know that you're not alone. So with that said, I am going to also give you guys the Live and Learn Army goal of the week. And this week's goal is to do something kind for a male in your life, whether it's your dad, whether it's your mom, not your mom, sorry, my brain, whether it's your dad, whether it's your brother, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your significant other, or whether it's a stranger on the street. Do one thing that is kind for a male in your life. So that is what I want to say today on this live stream. I hope that it sparked some type of conversation for you guys. Also, when you guys do the goal of the week, as usual, hashtag it Live and Learn Army and tag me at LoveHealthOK in it so that I can repost them and share them and let guys know out there that, you know, they can talk about their feelings and that they're just as human and they go through the same things that we do, and we should show a little bit more kindness this week to them. So yeah, that's what I want to say. And I want to say thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for caring enough to watch this video and to spread the message. So I love you guys, and I'm also going to be letting you guys pick out some t-shirt designs on Instagram stories, Insta stories, and Snap stories. So if you guys want to head over there, it'll probably be up sometime later after this live stream. I can't decide if I want it to be in color or black and white, but they literally should go live next Monday. So I'm really excited about you guys being able to get some merchandise if you want it. And another thing is my retreat is happening, and Health Aid has decided to do a gut workshop with us, and they're going to make kombucha at the day one. Energy Muse is doing a crystal workshop, and it's going to be art therapy, music therapy, healing, all about self-love, because this is the journey that I want to be on, guys. It's that I want to make a career out of putting good back into the world, and that's really what I want to do. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here and you're supporting what I do, because I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I just know that I have to do it because it's important that we be kind and we show love and we put good back into the world and be genuine and real with people, because there's too much suffering. There is way too much suffering, and I want to change that. I really, really want to change that. I think that is all the announcements that I have for today. If you guys like this video and you support it and you want to encourage it, please share it and please thumbs it up, because that would be amazing. The more it gets seen and the more that other people hear this message, the more we can start cultivating more change and positive change in this world. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys next Monday for another live stream. And also, I'm going to start vlogging on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to document everything that is happening with this retreat, because I want you guys to know that you guys are really a huge part of this support system, that on this journey that I am going to try to create a career out of doing good. That's what I'm going to do. And I want you guys to be able to see all the struggles and everything, and I want you guys there along the way, because you guys are my Live and Learn Army, and you guys are where it's all starting. And so hopefully you guys are excited for that. So yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week for another live stream. Okay, bye. Mwah.